Hi there, my name's Chad Palmer. I want to go over a few things because I've been doing some research. Sometimes it's been really late at night. I had a night the other night that I stayed up till like 4:30 researching this passive brain-machine interface and what was it, neural operant conditioning, where it's like rewards-based program for using a brain-machine interface. I found that to be really relevant in my life. It's, a lot of times we're motivated and, our motivation is pinpointed, we'll do just about anything. So I want to cover a few of these things that I've just learned about and been able to kind of put a definition to the functionality. Okay, that one, definitely the neural operant conditioning. It has to do with the rest of this kind of stuff here, with this real-time brain signal decoding. I found it in a scholarly article. I think it was out of Germany. They were talking about that, and that's something that I believe that is going to be part of our future for different reasons. We got a person here. I think that at some point when we get through all this different medical and technological issues and ethics and all that kind of stuff, there'll be something on the market, a prosthesis or something. You just have it installed in the side of your head like that. They have water-based ones that you probably can't even detect with a CT scan, and all these other, all kinds of them. You could find all these ways to interrogate the neurological system and get feedback from your synaptic activity in your brain. I found something that was pretty interesting too. This nanostructured neuron interface. And I know I've come across articles before where you can intervene on different parts of the body. In the brain stem right here, there's a lot of neural activity that goes on. And if you can introduce something to that, and augment it or be able to amplify it with the prosthesis, you're really onto something. And then to add a two-way silent communications. That's where you're really getting down to business, because you're able to get these readings, which I've come across the term electrocorticogram. I kind of like the acronym with ECOG. That's kind of cool. You can get these readings. If it works in conjunction as part of a intra-body network, this right here might be the way out. Which from then you could communicate with, at some point, probably Wi-Fi, antennas, satellite, all that kind of stuff. You get it, but when you have the two-way silent communications going on, along with these readings, that's where this evoked potential, which is the electrical response based on something like this two-way silent communication stimulus. It's measured. Then there's this term, event-related potential. It kind of leads more towards non-invasive brain response, which would be, when I think of that, when I think of non-invasive, I think of like social media, where you go on there, you see a picture of someone, and you might stop and you might look at it, and from there you know, those companies, they use all kinds of technology. They're probably using eye tracking or some kind of, you know, oftentimes I've thought that they were able to read brain waves through your cell phone or your laptop, and they come up with an event-related potential with that. Look at a picture of your friend and their kids and all this stuff, and boom, you got a reading. You look at a picture of some hot chick or something like that you want to get with, boom, you got a reading. Take all those readings together, add them to like a system of record, you know, just general. You're really going forward with this kind of stuff, but this evoked potential is an electrical response, which I think with this augmentation it'd be what you'd end up getting a hold of. What's the goal of all this mumbo jumbo? New form of communication is what I think. New form of communication that actually, you know, it touches on our civil liberties. How much can they know about our thoughts? When I say they, I'm talking like the NSA or something like that, where, you know, they're typically monitoring us and where we are and what we're doing. Who really cares when you get down to this kind of stuff, where they can gauge your intent? I mean, who's going to be in control of that kind of stuff? I mean, I can see why they don't talk about it that much on CNN, is because, you know, there's a lot to get through before you're able to utilize this kind of technology in just everyday life. Very, very invasive. Let's see. I think, okay, this, you know, one way for this is, the one way that it'll probably work first and foremost, and that I think it is working, is with satellite communications. I don't know how many of you have seen like intelligent photography in terms of like object tracking, where you're able to track an object as it moves around, you know, from the sky. Track it around wherever it's going. From there, you communicate to what now I think is the passive brain-machine interface. Passive brain-machine interface has, you know, data set, behavioral data, has some, it's kind of known as like fuzzy neuronal or something like that. But that fuzzy feature, it just leaves options. Like it'll give you a stimulus, say, you know, for example, you know, I like to use the term like, you are going to, and then question mark, and then you're going to fill in, you would sit there and kind of fill in the blanks. Church, friend's house, store. You'd have options with that through this. I mean, I don't know if it's still considered fuzzy, but I see that with like MATLAB and all that kind of stuff with the fuzzy toolbox, which is real popular. You see the MATLAB stuff come up all the time. Let's see, there's that. Then there would be like two-way controller, where it could go from there, it would feed back, and then boom, you'd be in contact with someone else. And then, let's see, there would be this neural operant conditioning, which would be data from the past. Past issues, some of these evoked potentials that didn't come out very good. And just a matter of like problem solving. You know, as if you weren't sitting there communicating with someone and you're just in your car, might as well start problem solving. Try to create a nice even flow with your electrocorticogram, might be one name for it. Or, you know, you're just in general, you won't be as responsive to problems. Where once you had some spikes, you're all upset, you know, you're getting the signal that your friend is taking advantage of you, that you're working for your friend, and you're just a volunteer, and all these hard things that are just like, what? You know, it's crazy. I don't want to have to deal with that kind of stuff, you know, I want to live my own life, have my own goals. So it's all noisy. Try to get control of that and say, nah, that's not really true. You know, and people aren't out to get me. You know, even if they are, it's good to kind of be ignorant about it and be like, hey, you know, I just want peace from all of this kind of stuff. So I can see how in this neural operant conditioning, you know, you'll achieve your reward by sorting through all of these problems. In one place that I saw that neural operant conditioning kind of being used, it seemed like, was with air traffic controllers, which it could be done non-invasively with like a headset, where it just keeps them at a steady state, where if they're just kind of getting lazy and, you know, all of a sudden something's going to come up, maybe they, instead of them being surprised about it, they might be actively engaged the whole time. I just saw an article on that and thought it was pretty interesting. But all right, covered the real-time brain signal decoding, covered the passive brain-machine interface, the electrocorticogram, which is just kind of like the reading. That's kind of in junction with the evoked potential a little bit. Microelectrode arrays, that's the interface that could communicate in conjunction with the nanostructure, especially with ultrasonic communications, which would tie those two together just with the signaling technology. And nanostructure neural interface, that's getting pretty interesting, because nanostructures are something we really, it's kind of in the realm of science and like physiology, I guess, would be kind of where that is. It takes pretty well-educated folks to sit there and deal with that and understand how it works, but it's super small stuff. It could easily get into your brain. Medication uses nanotechnology, goes to certain parts of your body. Why wouldn't it direct to a communication point in your body where it can be communicated with? I don't see any reason why not at this point. Neural operant conditioning, rewards for dealing with this stuff. That would sound pretty good at this point. Evoked potential, that's the electrical response. Event-related potential, non-invasive. That's where I think social media, other software programs, apps, etc. Taking readings on how you behave, behavior from stimulus. We know Obama signed an executive order to use behavioral data for policy change at one point. Who knows? Might be part of it. Thank you.